Have you ever been confused when checking your luggage at the airport, wondering if you'll need to collect it and recheck it at the connecting airport? Or maybe you're about to take your very first flight and have no idea how the luggage process works. Well, today I'm going to walk you through the various scenarios involving connecting flights and check luggage so that as a traveler, you can put your mind at ease with knowing what to expect when it comes to checking a bag and ensure your bag doesn't take a completely different trip than you. And if you're about to take your very first international flight, make sure to grab my free international first flight checklist, which is a step-by-step guide to help you prepare for your first international flight. Look for the link in the description below. Let's go.
Dream vacations start here.
So let's start simple with scenario number one. Your connecting flights are on the same airline. If you booked your flights on the same airline and they're on one reservation or confirmation number, then good news. Your luggage, in most cases, will automatically be transferred over to the next flight for you. This means you don't have to worry about collecting your luggage and rechecking them for the next flight. So let's say, for example, you're flying American Airlines from St. Louis to Los Angeles with a connection in Dallas. You would just need to check your luggage once in St. Louis, and your bags will make the trip behind the scenes all the way to LA. Now, I did say in most cases, your luggage will automatically transfer over to the connecting flight. There are some situations during international flights where this will not be the case, and I'll explain that more in the last scenario. But let's go ahead and move on to the second scenario, which is when you have connecting flights with different airlines. Now, this is when things start to get a little tricky. The best case scenario is that the two different airlines have a partnership together. If the airlines are partners like Delta and Air France, United and Lufthansa, and American and British Airways, they usually have something called an interline agreement. That's just a fancy way of saying we've agreed to play nice and work together so that if you choose a destination that we don't fly to, we can put you on our partner airline who does fly to that destination, and we will also automatically recheck your luggage to the partner airline as well. For instance, on American Airlines website, you may see available flights going to your destination. It will even show American Airlines flight numbers, but a note below will indicate that this particular flight is being operated by British Airways. This means that you, as the traveler, when booking airline tickets that have two different partner airlines, you only need to check in once for all the flights on your itinerary, and your luggage will automatically transfer to the next airline. But how do you find out if both airlines have interline agreements? Well, if you found flights on a particular airline's website, let's say it's Delta, and they offer connecting flights on Air France, then you can rest assured that they have an interline agreement. Most airline websites will also list the partner airlines that they work with, but other than that, there's no simple way to tell other than doing a web search. So if you're searching for flights on a third-party website such as Kayak, Expedia, or something similar, it would be in your best interest to either go to that airline's website and search for the exact same flights you found, or do a web search to verify that each of the airlines you plan to book a ticket through actually have a partnership with each other, which leads me to the next scenario, which is booking connecting flights in which the airlines don't have an interline agreement with each other. This usually occurs when you're going to a destination that you can only get to by booking two separate airlines that have no partnership with each other. Third-party websites will typically put together available flights for you, even if the airlines have no partnership with each other. Now, some will add a note letting you know that these are two separate airlines or that you may need to recheck your luggage at the connecting airport before you book, but that's not always the case. So before you hit the book button for your flights, you're going to want to know if you'll need to recheck your luggage between flights. If you do end up having to recheck your luggage, then you're going to want to give yourself a longer layover between flights to go through this process. This would involve retrieving your luggage from baggage claim, which, by the way, will most likely force you to leave the security area to do so. Once you have your bag, you would then check your bag in with the next airline and go through security again. If you have to go through this process, I would give yourself at least a 3-hour layover to ensure you can go through the entire process and catch your flight on time. Let's now talk about the fourth and final scenario, which would be connecting international flights and customs. When traveling internationally, you may have to make a connection in a different country than your destination. Then you may be required to go through customs and recheck your luggage before continuing on to your connecting flight. For example, let's say you want to travel from Sydney, Australia to London, UK. When looking up flights, you settle on an American Airlines flight that has a connection in Los Angeles in the US. Now, the US requires everyone coming into the country on a flight to go through customs, even if you're only passing through, which also requires you to collect your luggage and recheck them after customs. Now, American won't notify you that this will occur, so this will come as a complete shock to you if you didn't know the US requirement, and if you didn't give yourself a long enough layover, this can cause some serious stress and wondering if you'll even make your connecting flight. Most other countries will allow you to transfer to your connecting flight without having to go through customs or recheck your luggage, but sometimes it can just depend on where you're coming from and where you're going to. If you have the option, it would be easiest to find a connecting flight within your own country without having to connect through a different country to avoid this scenario. There's honestly no good way to tell if you'll have to go through customs at a connecting country without doing your own research. Airlines are getting better at giving their customers information about what documents and requirements will be needed on their flight, but not until after you have booked your flight, and by that time, it may be too late to change your flights without some sort of penalty. So if you want to avoid the trouble of having to possibly recheck your luggage for a connecting flight, choose a connecting flight within your own country or do some research before you book your flights to know what you may be getting into. So what can you do to give yourself the best opportunity to keep you and your luggage going to the same destination? Number one, always check to see if the airlines you booked with has a baggage agreement before you book. Number two, ask the check-in agent if your bag is tagged to your final destination and if you'll need to recheck it at the connecting airport. Never assume. Number three, pack essentials, meds, and 1 day's worth of clothes in your carry-on. That way, if your bag does take its own adventure, you're not stranded. And hey, a luggage tracker like an AirTag or Tile can be a lifesaver. So the next time you're flying with a connection, remember, sometimes your bag gets a smooth ride behind the scenes, and sometimes it's doing its own amazing race through airports. Knowing the rules helps you avoid surprises. Make sure to grab the free First International Flight Checklist in the description. And if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and drop a comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching this one. Until next time, happy travels.